Hey y'all, I am so glad that you are here to see the Graphing and Solving Inequalities help video. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do before we start solving inequalities and stuff is we need to understand the symbols and what they mean. So this is a greater than symbol. This one is a greater than or equal to. This little line underneath it means that it's also like an equal sign. Here we have the less than symbol, and this is the less than or equal to symbol. We also need to know what we would do on a graph given those symbols. So an open circle means that the value is not included. So if you see this, it says x is greater than 2. That doesn't mean x can equal 2. So when we go to our number line, we put a circle on 2, but we leave it as an open circle because it is not included. And then we're going to draw our line showing every number that's greater than 2. So any of these numbers could be solutions. Here we have x is less than 5. Again, open circle because 5 is not included, and then we draw our arrow showing that every number less than 5 could be a solution, or is a solution. Over here, a filled in circle means that the value is included. So anytime you see that equal to line underneath your symbol, you need to make sure that you close the circle in, because this says that x is greater than or equal to 3. So we need to make sure that we include 3 and then all the numbers greater. And then over here, x is less than or equal to 6. We need to make sure we include 6. So open circles are when they don't have the equal to line underneath, and closed circles are when they do have that equal to line underneath. And I want to show you a graphing shortcut. Super cool, and it always works as long as you solve your equation with your letter in the front. So here, x comes first. So I can take my symbol and I can draw a line out of it, and it tells me which way, oh, that looked weird, which way to draw my line. Same thing here. If I think about just extending this line and making it into an arrow, it tells me to draw my line that direction. This arrow shortcut where you draw an arrow out of the inequality symbol is kind of an extra double check way to make sure that you're graphing it correctly. And it always works as long as x is first, or the variable is first. Okay, so now let's look at doing some of these problems. For this first one, I have m minus 5 is less than 6. So even though this isn't an equal sign, I'm going to solve it the same way. So I'm going to draw a line down my symbol, and I'm going to box off my letter. Then I'm going to ask myself, what is on the same side as the letter that I need to get rid of? And here I need to get rid of a negative 5, so I'm going to do the inverse operation, or the opposite, which is to add 5. And whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So negative 5 plus 5 cancels, that's 0. I'm going to bring the m straight down. I'm going to keep my symbol the same, and then 6 plus 5 is 11. The only time that you would change your symbol, and we're going to talk about this a lot more, but if you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to flip your symbol. Otherwise, you keep it the same. So in this case, I have m is less than 11. So any number, it's not like your only solution is 11. 11 actually isn't even an answer because it doesn't say it's equal to 11. It says that any number less than 11 can be a solution. So I know you don't have to graph on this first one, but I just want to show you what that would look like. If you're on a number line here, you would put an open circle on 11 because 11 is not included. And then you think about drawing your arrow through that symbol, and it tells me to draw my line this way. So any number less than 11 is a solution. 5 is a solution, 0 is a solution, negative 36 is a solution, anything less than 11. So let's look at this one. We're going to start off, we're going to draw our line down our symbol, box off our x, and then get the x by itself. So we need to get rid of plus 4.5. The opposite would be to minus 4.5 from each side. The 4.5 minus 4.5 is 0, so we cancel that out. Bring our x straight down, and then subtract this. 5 minus 5 is 0. 8 minus 4 is 4. Oops, that's not, see, I made a bad habit. See, do you guys see my mistake? I accidentally put an equal sign there. It is not an equal sign. It is a less than or equal to symbol. So here, I'm greater than or equal to. Goodness. How many mistakes can I make in the same thing? Anyways, x is greater than or equal to 4 or 4.0. I know we don't have to graph on this one, but I just want to show you what that looks like. If you go over here, 1, 2, 3, 4 to 4, since there is a line underneath it, we do want to include 4, so that's going to be a closed circle. And then if you just think about making that symbol an arrow, it would tell you to draw it this way. So any number greater than 4 or equal to 4 is a solution. Let's look at this one. Draw a line down our symbol, box off our letter. We want to get p by itself, which means we need to get rid of 16. Since it's positive, we're going to make it negative and do it to both sides. I'm keeping my symbol the same. And then let's see, 9 minus 16, is negative 7. So it says p is greater than negative 7. So any number greater than negative 7, if we look at that on a number line, we have 0 and negative 7. There's not an equal to line, so it is an open circle. And then we think about making our arrow out of our symbol. And any of those numbers greater than negative 7 are part of our solution. All right, translate the following statement into an inequality. 4 less than a number is at least 9. Ooh, we got a lot going on here. So I'm just going to write down 4 less than means, why did I put a 9? Goodness gracious. I said 4. My brain and my hand are not communicating today. 4 less than usually means subtract. And then a number is usually x or any letter is at least, so we want it to be 9. If we want at least 9, like I always like to think about money. If I want at least $9, $8 isn't going to cut it. But $10 would work. I want 9, anything equal to or greater than 9, because I want at least $9. So it has to be 9 or more. So at least is going to be the greater than or equal to symbol. Now we got to put it all out there. But think about this. If I just wrote it in the order it came, and I'm going to keep writing in red because this is not correct. Fair warning. If I just wrote out 4 minus x is greater than or equal to 9, what this says here is not what it's supposed to say. It's supposed to say 4 less than a number. So if you have a number and then 4 less than, you actually have to switch the order. We want there to be 4 less than the number. So the number, and then we want to take away 4 from that. So 4 less than that. So that's really tricky. You got to be really, really careful about the order. But that should be the correct order. We have 4 less than a number, and it's got to be greater than or equal to 9, or at least 9. All right. Which inequality has the solution shown in the graph? Well, a couple things. The first thing I notice is that it's an open circle. And if it's an open circle, it cannot have the equal to line under it. See how this one has the equal to line under it? So I automatically know that can't be an answer because it's an open circle. The other thing that I noticed right away is that my arrow is pointing that way. And so you can look at that arrowhead and that can help you determine what your symbol is going to be. Now remember, this arrow shortcut only works if our letter comes first, but it does. So we can take the shortcut. So I know my inequality symbol has to be less than because I'm looking at all the numbers less than. So I can go ahead and go over here and see this one says greater than. I can mark that answer out. Okay, so I'm down to these 2 options. So I'm just going to solve each of these and see which one gives me negative 2. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do a minus 3 is less than 5. And I'm going to box off my letter, add 3 to both sides. And when I solve this, I get a is less than 8. I don't have a circle on 8. That can't be it. And then I'm just going to show you what the correct one looks like over here. If I have a minus 3 is less than negative 5 and I solve that, I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And I get a is less than negative 2. And that's exactly where our circle is. So that is our answer. Okay, which property was used to solve the given inequality? So here's our given inequality. And what they do is they want to get rid of this 8. So they subtract 8 from each side and to solve it. So So if we're subtracting 8 from each side and we want to know what that property is, that is the subtraction property of equality. It just means whatever you do to the other side, to one side, you have to do to the other. So we subtracted 7 on each side, so that's the subtraction property of equality. I hope this helps. Good luck on your quick check.